Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and elders who rule well. Right? Shalom, Abahar. Peace to the elect. That's the men, women, children whose names are written in the book of life. All right, out of the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right? And this video is to speak on, the concept of glory. When you go into the word glory, essentially it means power, because power is known through knowledge. Power is known through, status, recognition, things of that nature. You know, um, and in this life, you know, being in the knowledge and wisdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, we have the ultimate knowledge, right? Which is ultimately the greatest glory that can be obtained. Right? Scriptures tell you, it says what? It says, no precious stone can be desired over the wisdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, because people use precious stones and rubies and gold and silver for power, for assets and gains and things of that nature. You know, um, what we're involved in is a thing of humiliation. All right, the scriptures talk about how hope is the anchor of our souls. Okay, and essentially, when someone is angered, it means you're grounded. You know, and if you already have glory, then you're not looking for hope. All right, that's why you look at the examples of the people that are coming out and speaking out, saying that they're Israelites and you know pushing the truth, and they're making a lot of these dudes is doing it for their own gain, especially these different camps. Okay, you look at the examples of these people. Look at what they've done. We don't gotta name names, all right, but we know who those groups are, and we know what their full agenda is. All right, in the last days, they're not going to be stable. They're not going to, because they don't have hope. All right, because they're not pushing forward the kingdom of heaven. All right, our focus is to push forth the chief shepherd. Okay, the chief meaning who, the top. The shepherd is who, the one that guides the flock. All right, and I got a scripture real quick. This is 1 Peter chapter 5 and 4. No, let me start at verse 3. Neither as being lords over God's heritage, but being examples to the flock. Right, and what's the best way to be an example? To be a servant, to be a minister. Yahweh Shai gave that example. Okay, laying your life down. What does it mean to lay your life down? It could be in a sense of, death, which is translation, okay, from one vessel onto another. Ultimately, right now, we can lay our life down for our brethren. Why? By putting our own glory to the side, putting our own passions and deeds and desires to the side, all right? And serving the body of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's why the scripture says what? He said, if you love me, feed my sheep. And you understand, see, we look at it from a perspective. That's why we got to get out of America, man. We got to get out of American mentality as well. Because to tend to sheep and to feed sheep wasn't just, well, I'm going to just drop it down here and, they'll get it when they need it. No, there was work and labor towards feeding sheep. There was a certain time of day that you fed sheep, okay? Or any kind of flock. When you're dealing with cattle, when you're dealing with different creatures of the earth that you have to tend to, there's certain tactics that you have to use according to the spirit of that creature. And it's the same thing with the flock, because we're creatures, all right, made by the ultimate, but made by the Creator and His Son, all right. So us dealing with the flock, we have to be mindful of how we're feeding and when we're feeding, where we're feeding, and so on and so forth. Okay, what we're feeding, that's another thing. Okay, that's why the scripture said being examples to the flock, meaning an example. Okay, because you don't want to push forth the example of getting glory, although you may be able to do that. You may be able to get glory on this side, on one shape, form, or fashion, because we've all been deprived of power in this society. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans don't know what power looks like or feels like. All right, our people talk about financial wealth and financial freedom. You don't have financial freedom. You will never get financial freedom on this side because you don't have your own money. All right, you're kept back by balance of those material things. That's why those that try to push forth this word using that currency, okay, is doomed for destruction. Okay? That's why, hey, what did Yahweh Shai say? That what is Caesar's, render unto Caesar, because they tried to catch Yahweh Shai to get his own glory. When they came up and said, should we pay taxes unto Caesar? Because that's what those whole zealots were all about. The zealots were about getting their own glory. They weren't about, exalting Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai got to get his glory, right? So it says what? Verse verse 4. And when the chief shepherd, okay, shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. Right? Because if you try to exalt your own self, then you're going to get a corruptible crown. You're not going to get a crown that doesn't fade. So how are you moving? Are you moving in your own pride? Are you moving in your own lust? Are you moving to make yourself look benevolent in this world? To look like you have some form of power and status. All right. Are you moving in a sense of humility? All right. And that's synonymous with the word humble. The word humble and humility is synonymous. So you're gonna go through things that's gonna humble you. Why? Because you're gonna get humiliated, and that is the opposite of receiving your glory on this side. And we do all things for the sake of the elect, and for the sake of what? Exalting our King, Yahweh Shai. We are heralds. We are messengers. Nothing more, nothing less. To this point right now, until what? Then Yahweh Shai will crown us with the glory of kings, wise kings, real kings. All right, okay, because that's another thing. Kingship doesn't dwell on money, fashion, status. All right, remember the scripture tell you it was a poor man's city. The poor man's wisdom delivered the city. All right, you had in ancient times. That's why your brothers like to watch that movie, that show, uh Last Kingdom. All right, just like Uhtred. Uhtred was a king, right? But he didn't have anything. He didn't have any substance. It was all taken from him. You see, just like, and then you have certain movies that show you where the king would be in a low state, would be in will be in a low degree. What the scriptures tell you, that's one of my favorite chapters, man. With Sirach 11, wisdom lifted up the head of him that is in low degree. All right. So if you have wisdom, man, that's above everything, man. I started off with the video talking about what the scriptures talk about the value of wisdom is. All right. So if you have that, which wisdom deals with what? Discretion, discernment, be able to decipher when to speak, not to speak, what to say, what not to say. That's the things that's supposed to be desired. All right. That you pray to the Lord that we be not reprobates, man. Okay. Meaning what? You didn't pass the test, essentially. Okay. Because the word reprobate also means that you don't pass the test, but it also means you're void of judgment, because the person that's void of judgment can't pass the test. You see? And the test is, are you going to get your glory on this side? All right, by going through the broad, or are you going to go through the straight and narrow and suffer with your brethren and suffer for Yahweh Shai? Okay? And that's pretty much it. That's all I had. I just want a quick scripture, something that was on my mind, something that came to my mind, real quick. And I was like, yo, that could be a video, just to, feed the elect. All right. Call Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Hakudah. Shalom.